Yo, man, small talk. We gonna sit at the house today, man. Do a little chopping it up. We gonna do a little chopping it up at the house, man. Salute, man. This the man. Y'all know who it is. Know what time it is. Trying to see what's going on. I know I ain't gotta sit private. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yo, but anyway, man, I just got off the phone with a friend of mine, man. Uh, and like I said, as I always say, man, today's time and today's people, it just ain't the same. You know, you can ask a person for help with the smallest thing, and you'll get so much pushback when it's just something small. So the conversation was just like, you know, this person want their children to go to a good school, and you know how some people like from back in the day used to use a relative or a friend's address so their child could get, you know, higher tier school or a school that of their, you know, their choice that, or, you know, just a better school, better education. And, you know, when I was young, we did that. You know what I'm saying? We used to use, you know, my grandmama address to go to a city school when we moved to the county. And before we did that to finish out a school year, then we went to the county. But I didn't make it long in the county school because they were coming from where I came from. You know, like I was telling y'all the story, this early '90s. You know, the introduction. You know, gangs had set in and was here. So, you know, you got the city. You know, as they would call it. You know, not the hood, the trenches or whatever. That's where I'm at. And now, you know, mom and made it, you know, trying to make life better for us and moved us out to the county. So that's like, you know, as they would call it, middle class, high middle class. You know, we had a pool in the backyard, stuff like that. You know, fenced in, privacy gate, stuff like that, 3-car garage. So when we finished out that year, I went to that school that was out there by that area. And but before then, we used to have to wake up in the morning. When she first moved out there to finish out that school year, we used to have to work up. My mom used to wake up early in the morning and drop us off at like 5:30 in the morning so we could walk to school, you know, from her house and going when we were going to the city school. So, you know, that we getting there at 5:30, you know, I got an hour, about an hour to lay down, you know, be out the house at that door at 6:30, be at school at 7. You know, they're about a 30-minute walk. And, you know, grandma had to come in there and wake up. Grandma didn't just coming in and wake us up and say, hey, get up and go to school. Grandma got up with us, made breakfast, and sent us out the door, make sure we had all our stuff, and walked us out the door. So it's a person, today just asking her relative to use her address. And I guess she thought she just wanted to use the address, and not knowing that this lady have to, drop her children off and the children catch the bus from this address or whatnot. She won't even, it's too much responsibility for her to even get up to open the door and let the children in for 30 minutes before they had to catch the bus to be at the bus stop. If that ain't lazy and sorry, I don't know what it is, you know what I'm saying? People, but like I said, people just they just ain't built the same, man. They just ain't built the same. Salute. Victor, how you doing, bro? How you doing? I'm trying to get this, so I can see these comments to come in back to my folks. I always want to holler at my folks. You know what I'm saying? Dreams, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, y'all hit that like for me, man. I appreciate it. Vic, man, that's my guy. He gonna represent. But yeah, man, it's something so small as to help a person out, man, on that level. We grew up doing that. If you can afford your child a better education, and all it takes is for you to say, this said Vic, my partner Vic had some children. And I had some children, and Vic lived in a nice neighborhood, an upper class neighborhood. And I said, hey Vic, let me use your address, man, so my children go into this school, man. That ain't so rough. That ain't so tough. I ain't filled with this. I'm pretty sure Vic said, oh yeah, bro, you can use it. And I'd be like, okay, Vic, now I'm gonna have to drop them off early, man. So, I'm gonna, you got to get up with and open the door, and let them in. Vic being all right with me, cool with me, he gonna do that. But this later I'm talking about won't even do that. Won't even do that. Like, man, like people, it just. But I bet she'll open the door for that dude, that side dude, that dude with the dreads, that dude that got the charge that look like the D-boy, you feel me? But to help somebody, man, like that, in a way that, man, help better their children's life and just be a helper, asset, man. People, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that, man. But it's all around, man. I see people, man, like I said, man, for example, man, I know a guy, man, 4 months ago, busted and disgusted. Now he supposed to be the guy, whatever, doing and did whatever he doing, that's his business. I ain't here to put his business out. He done went from meek and meager to the king of the block. Nah, it was funny because, where some people think is fly, some people think it's weird, some people think it's funny. So one day he jumped out his girl, this newfound girl. Now, when you get money, you get attention. When you get attention, you get some attention you want, and you get some attention you don't want. But now he got a nice, little pretty little girl, little pretty little one, nice little chick. But what she was 4 months ago, you driving her little truck, where your truck at? Where your car at? It's just funny how these dudes are so backwards. When they get a little taste of money, they jump to whoever on TV. They want to be just like them. You want to be 21 Savage. You want to be, hey, man, y'all get out. Y'all don't quit, man. These boys, hey, I'm sorry, man. Y'all guys wearing them knee-high shorts. I'm tired of looking at your ashy knees, man. If y'all got any type of real female, they should tell me, man, put some lotion on them knees, man. Some of y'all need to put some motor oil on them. I ain't gonna lie to you. Get some 520 weight. You know what I'm saying? Something. But these dudes jumping out, man, they went from skinny jeans to golf shorts. Y'all right? I can't wear them. I can't wear them. I can't do it. I'm sorry. But yeah, man, it's funny, bro. It's funny, man, how people just flip flop and unreliable, and then get a little position of any type of power, or look like they got any type of position of anything, man. They just transform, man. I call them comedians. I call them comedians. I promise I do. I promise I do. And then now they tough. Some of them get money and they get tough. Some of them get a little sick and they get tough. And I just be like, you know, yeah, man. I just be like, y'all could make it. Okay, Vic, man. I appreciate you for stopping through, my guy. But yeah, y'all tough guys, man. With y'all newfound fame, I be want to tell y'all that it ain't gonna last long. I done seen it too many times because y'all too loud. The loudest person in the room, as they say, is usually the weakest person in the room. Y'all too loud. I be want to tell them, I got this, I got. All right, let me get over him. Like you said, you got that. So when they, how y'all moving when they come, that's how I'm be. I was over there. What he said? He said he got that. I don't know what he talking about. I'll be like, he got that, but I don't know. He asked him. He said he had something. I don't know what he had said he had, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't deal with the foolishness, man. I don't deal with it for what? For what? You know. Man, let me know where y'all coming in from, man. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe, man, to the couple of people that's still in here, man. I appreciate it. To the one person that's still in here, cause one of me. But yeah, man, these guys, man, they just funny. They just funny, man. But yeah, man. I don't know what to say about them, but that what I really was getting on him about doing this live is just to say people, you can ask a person for the smallest amount of help, and you'll catch all type of HELL to get it. And it's nothing. You can say, man, hey, hold this bag for me. And a person take you all around the world just to do that, man. Like it's just funny, man. It's just funny, man. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Everybody let me know where you tapping in from, man. Where you tapping in from? Where you tapping in from? Hit that like button. Let me know where you tapping in from. Hit that like, you know what I'm saying, subscribe, man. We trying to get these numbers up, man. I appreciate the 185 I got. I definitely appreciate the 185 I got, man. Salute to all y'all, man. I know all of them ain't know him, man, but people like Victor, man, he done became a important piece to this 1K, cause we gonna get there. We gonna get there quicker than y'all think. Y'all looking at this number 90, and it's small, but to me it's more than enough. You know what I'm saying? Cause I wasn't doing, I hadn't had this channel 3-4 years, and I really just started. doing content, man, because people kept pushing me and said, man, bro, because I talk to people when I'm out and about, and the mayor is the name is a name the streets gave me. You know what I'm saying? I never had a nickname in my life. My name was my name. That people said my name, and they said it was it's a very few people named like me, you know, but the streets gave me the name, the mayor. So, and I can see why, from young to now, I was, a politic, had a network. I always, you know, and sometimes, majority of the time, important places, doing important things. And what I mean by that, it was on the street side at that time. You know what I'm saying? To get things solved, to get things cleared up. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, I still try to use that type of tactic when it comes to, talking to people in whatever community I'm in my city for it, like the younger generation. You know, I don't I'm not a guy that sit and run around and talk about, oh, I used to, on the tough side, try to play tough and, because we are, certain people know what the 90s was, the 80s was, 90s was, early 2000, ish was, it was all about them hands. You know what I'm saying? It was about respect, principles and morals, man. I'm gonna respect your mama because you gonna respect my mama. I'm gonna respect your granny because you gonna respect my granny. I'm gonna respect your sister, brother, whoever, because you're gonna respect my sister and brother. It's all about respect, and what they used to call it back then is home training. That's what the old heads you said, man, don't go out here in these streets and act like you ain't got no home training. But today, man, it's shit, what they call it? Uh, zesty, it's zesty season, is weirdo season, it's just the season it's the times of the weirdos, the lames, you know what I'm saying? Everybody could be somebody behind, the screen or the keyboard or, I have people jumping on my lives and some of my pages, you know what I'm saying some stuff that just don't have nothing to do with nothing. I'll pop up and say stuff like just anything. I can't even think of this because my mind don't work like that. I get out if I stop and stroll. I'm strolling on your channel. I first thing that gonna pop in my head ain't gonna be nothing stupid like, man, I bet you got on some blue socks. What up with saying something stupid? Like what kind of mind you gotta have to come up with something like that when you come on somebody's page, man? Just trying to be funny. And I know what the word today is clout, but we used to call that playing. Well, we still call it playing. You don't jump on nobody's page playing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's an outlet, it's social media, it's media, and for a lot of folks, it's a business. Ain't nobody got time for none of that, man. And as they said back in the day, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. Just sit back and watch. But people don't even know how to do that. I guess I don't know, I don't get it. And my mama told me, one thing my mama told me was real, that she was like, to her, you ain't gonna get it because you ain't built like that. Meaning that ain't the kind of person you is. You ain't gonna get these kind of people because you're not that kind of person. So I gave up and trying to figure out why these guys are as weird as they are, man, do the things they do. I just stay out their way, I just really just stay out their way, you know. Uh, you know. Everybody, let me know where y'all checking in from. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. Trying to get, across the country, man. Get people from across the country, and one day across the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But yeah, man. I know that wasn't too interesting, but hey, if I was on here talking about who then it'll be a bunch of people in here, man. So, I know how it go. I know how it go, and then I ain't put no description in it. So, you know, long as my love, my few that came through and stopped through and showed some love, I'm pretty much satisfied. But I'm gonna make a video. The next video I'm gonna do is on that game banging in the South. You know, uh, I forgot what the name of it is, where it's gang banging in the South. My history in history, on gang banging in the South. So I'm gonna do that video and put that video up, and y'all check that out, man, and tell me what y'all think about that. And we gonna do segments of that, and I'm gonna sit down with some of the people, that's older than me that was, actually present when the movement was going on. Cause like I said, in one of the videos that all of that happened when the gang bang came along. It was coming along went back in the '80s with the newfound thing, the newfound drug trade, crack, what they said, back in the day, it came with, but it stemmed from it being available like it was from the other part I was telling y'all about how people migrated, in the South, and even in the '80s, it's still a big, racism was still had a big presence in the South in the '80s, late '80s, late '80s, even early '90s. You know what I'm saying? I remember when my mom first moved to the house she moved into when I was telling y'all about how we had moved to the county and I went to the county school, and this is the reason I got put out because of gang banging. I got to the county school and the county school didn't know nothing about gang banging. They children was sheltered. They didn't know nothing about colors and you know the movies we know of, King of New York, Scarface. What's that other movie? I can't believe I can't think of the name right now. With Wesley Snipes in it. I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, all the movies that the inner city children got to see, you know, they didn't know nothing about it. So when I got there and I saw, man, like they walk around with bandanas on, and at our school, teachers taking them because they knew what it was. This mean this color mean this, you this, you that. I got out there and saw they was walking around, not for that reason. It was just they bandanas didn't mean that. It was a majority white school. I'm gonna just put it that way. So that bandanas meant, they was like I guess a rebel or well at that time, like I said, it was still racist. So I'm like, they let them they get away with it, and shoot, and I started putting the imprint in it right then, and it was 2 or 3 people that knew that got there before me. You know what I'm saying? And a couple of guys that was the opposite race of myself. You know, that knew. That was, they were white guys that knew. And when I got there, they came to me. Hey, and I'm looking at them like, yeah, I'm such. I'm such a. Oh, really? And hit them with the, and they knew it, and I'm like, whoa, okay. So it's me and these 2 white guys, and they was some, yeah, they was some little tough little white guys. So and then we had one guy that was a guy there, another guy another child that we were kids, another kid that came from the west side of town. He was, representing something else. And I'm like, okay, so it was a handful. That out of 1,000 students, it was a handful. But even then, what I was part of had the bigger number. I ended up meeting another guy and another guy. And all of them was there because of the same reason I was there. Like their parents had got, better jobs, and was able to move out there. But I didn't make it out there I made it out there. I got out there the second semester of the second semester of the 7th grade. And I got, the second semester, 7th grade. So that was coming out for Christmas break. And then the school year ended. And by the beginning of the next school year, in May, I want to say May, I was put out. By that third month of that next school year, and they gave me a choice. They said you can go and we go class 3, and you got to go and have a board hearing down at the county school district to see if they gonna let me stay or let me back in school. And I could tell they didn't want me there. Even at that age, I knew they didn't want me there. It was me and my mom and the principal told me, he said, you can go and have, he had the sheriff in there in his office, the fire chief in his office, and the superintendent of the county board there. He said you can have a board meeting about my behavior, and we'll get off to all that later on in the story of the video I made. Or you could just go back to the city school. I looked at my mama, I told my mama, I said, hey, take me back over there, to the city school. So I ended up going back to my grandma's house. So majority of my life I lived with my grandma. So I'm a grandma's baby. I was raised by my granny, and at the end of the day, I did some things. We'll talk about it. It was a big ride. I call it a big ride behind this teacher, and they still talk about it to this day. And that was over, man. That was over 30 years ago, and they still talk about it to this day. Let me see. Yeah, it was over 30 years ago, and people that I was running to here and that was there at the time, they still talk about it to this day. So, but because it was disrespectful, and coming from a city school to a county school, and then a predominantly white county school, man, the programming at that time, you had Black History Month. They over there at the city school, they showed us the worst of the worst. So when you get around, what at that your young mind, you go think what they show you, the hate. They don't like. So I took off, man. I did some things, man, I ain't proud of, you know what I'm saying? But there was one teacher that came from my school, because she moved and transferred out and was out there that you know, sent for me and got me, and she had kept me in her class. They were finna kick me out then. That was right before that happened with the principal. But she tried to get me to understand. But at that time, I was like, but I thanked her. But you know, when you're young and you don't know nothing, I understood what she was saying, and that made a bond between me and her. But everybody else, I didn't. All the other teachers and stuff, I didn't care nothing about what they said. They couldn't tell me nothing. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and they had to get me out there, and I had to leave my little brother, man, and that was a point in my life, man. You know that I started, you know, just a transition of, man. Hold up, nah, I can't. You know, the thing started being tried to be done to my little brother. You know, like they try to jump on my little brother, whether come in, him got different last name. They didn't know he was my brother. So I had to pull up one time and demonstrate again, and they were behind what I did after school. They was finna put him out, but luckily, you know, they didn't put him out. But I ended up going back to city school. He ended up staying in county school, and me and him, yin and yang, y'all eventually meet him. I eventually bring him up on him. But yeah, man, I ain't want too much, man. Just dropping something on y'all, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. But I appreciate the few that tapped in, man. Appreciate y'all, I really do. And you know what I'm saying? I'm finna tap out, man. Y'all have a good one, man. Yeah, y'all have a good one. When can I end this live from here? Probably can't. Nope. All right. I am.